Hey, what's up, Niners faithful? Hope you're all doing great because today we've got a jam-packed update on everything surrounding our San Francisco 49ers. There's a lot going on right now, from trade rumors to injury news to what Kyle Shanahan really said in his latest press conference. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's break this all down like we always do, with some honest talk about the state of this team and where things might be heading as the season gets tougher. All right, let's get right into it, because the conversation around Jauan Jennings has been blowing up lately. I've seen people all over the internet saying maybe it's time for the Niners to trade him. Now, I get it. It's that time of year when speculation starts running wild, and everyone's playing general manager. But let's be real for a second. Most of this talk is just that talk. People are connecting dots that probably aren't even on the same page. The logic goes something like this. There are teams out there that need a wide receiver, and the 49ers might want some help at defensive end. So someone says, hey, why not swap Jennings for a pass rusher? Sounds clean in theory, but football doesn't work that way. Trades aren't fantasy football. You can't just move pieces around because they look good on paper. And here's where I stand. I don't think trading Jauan Jennings right now makes much sense. Yeah, he's had a tough go with injuries lately, and yeah, he might be gone after the season if things don't line up. But the dude plays with heart. He's physical. He fights for every yard, and even when he's banged up, he's out there trying to make things happen. You don't just throw that away unless you're getting something real in return. If this team was desperate or completely stacked at receiver, maybe it'd be a conversation. But with George Kittle just coming back, Deebo Samuel still recovering, and Brandon Ayuk not 100% yet, it feels risky to lose another reliable target. Speaking of Kittle, man, it's good to see him back at practice. You could tell the energy on the field was different with him around. Even limited, the guy brings juice. He's not just another player. He's one of those tone setters. When Kittle's on the field, the whole offense moves differently. You can see it in the way Purdy throws the ball, the way the offensive line blocks, even in how the receivers run their routes. Kittle's presence is contagious in the best possible way. And then there's Kendrick Bourne. Let's be honest, he's been one of the few bright spots lately. Yeah, there have been a few drops and some miscommunication on certain routes, but overall, he's been solid. Considering he jumped into this offense mid-season, without the benefit of training camp or OTAs, I think he's handled himself pretty well. The chemistry with the quarterbacks isn't perfect yet, and that's understandable, but he's making plays. You can tell he's still learning the nuances of Shanahan's system, which, let's face it, is one of the toughest offenses in the league to pick up. But he's adapting, and the numbers reflect that. Now, Demarcus Robinson, that's another story. The start of his season wasn't great, but now that he's back from suspension and getting into rhythm again, I think we're going to see him settle in. We know what he's capable of from his time with the Rams. Once he finds that chemistry with whoever's under center, whether it's Purdy or Jones, things will look a lot smoother. I don't think he's a concern long-term. And speaking of quarterbacks, we need to talk about Purdy for a second. He's been limited in practice, but the clips coming out look good. There's zip on his passes, and his motion looks clean. If anything, he looks less limited than some people are saying. Watching him throw next to Kittle during warm-ups was a great sight for any Niners fan. You could feel that little spark of optimism return, like, okay, maybe this offense isn't as broken as some want to believe. On the other hand, Kyle Shanahan had one of his more unfiltered press conferences recently, and that really stood out to me. He wasn't dodging questions like he sometimes does. Instead, he came off pretty direct, especially when talking about mistakes and effort. When he was asked about Sky Moore and those poor decisions on punt returns, like fielding the ball inside the 5-yard line, Shanahan didn't sugarcoat it. He said straight up, that's a no, a big no. You could hear the frustration in his voice. He's tired of the mental errors. This is the kind of moment where you can tell the patience is starting to thin. He also got asked about Isaac Guerendo being removed from kick return duties. The question was whether it was about ball security, and Shanahan basically said it was a mix of things. Nothing terrible, nothing great, just a chance to give Brian Robinson Jr. an opportunity. That might sound simple, but if you read between the lines, that's Shanahan subtly saying, you got to earn your spot. Nothing is guaranteed on this roster, not even for guys who flashed before. Robinson, by the way, is making the most of it. His average yards per carry are higher than Christian McCaffrey's right now, which is wild, though the sample size is small. Still, it's a reminder that this team has depth. As for Sky Moore, he's been dealing with an ankle injury, so we'll see if he suits up. Jordan Watkins and Junior Bergen have both been taking punt return reps in practice, which could mean Shanahan's open to change. Honestly, after what we've seen lately, I wouldn't be surprised if he made a switch. He didn't trade for Sky Moore to cut him, but if another guy is more consistent and secure with the ball, Shanahan won't hesitate to make the move. Then there's the green dot situation, communication on defense. Shanahan confirmed that Tatum Bethune will be wearing it this week. The way he said it was so firm, so final, it almost felt like a statement. We're moving forward, and this is our guy. He didn't even elaborate, just dropped it and moved on. And honestly, I like that. It shows confidence in Bethune. It also quietly says a lot about D. Winters. Maybe he's not quite ready to command the defense just yet. Injuries, though, continue to be a storyline. You've got Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams getting their veteran rest days, Sky Moore and Jauan Jennings dealing with ankle issues, Jennings also battling through rib and shoulder pain. It's rough. The guy's clearly hurting, but he keeps showing up. And that's another reason why trading him right now feels crazy. You don't trade the kind of toughness in the middle of the grind. The locker room respects players like Jennings because they see how much pain he plays through. You can't measure that on a stat sheet. On the defensive side, Nick Martin might finally get a shot. Shanahan said this week could be his opportunity with Fred Warner sidelined. That's a big moment for a guy who's been waiting patiently. Martin worked his tail off all offseason, had a solid preseason, and now it looks like he's going to get a chance to prove himself. Shanahan's words made it clear. This is Martin's time to step up. We'll see how practice goes and whether he earns that game day activation, but it's exciting. And before we move on, it's worth pointing out how much energy Kittle brings not just as a player, but as a leader. Shanahan said it himself. George is one of those guys who makes an impact just by being around. He's been part of the core since the beginning, and you can tell his teammates feed off his attitude. Even when he's not catching passes, his blocking, his presence, and his leadership mean everything to this team. The truth is, the Niners are in a tough spot right now. The schedule's only getting harder, key players are nursing injuries, and there's noise coming from every direction, trades, frustrations, even little sideline spats that happen when emotions boil over. But that's football. This is the grind. And this team has been through enough over the past few years to know how to handle it. So, as rumors swirl and outsiders speculate, it's important to remember that inside the building, the mindset is probably a lot calmer than we think. Kyle Shanahan's pressers may come off blunt, but that's just his way of sending a message to his players, to the media, and to anyone doubting where this team is headed. The 49ers might not look perfect right now, but there's still a sense that they're just a couple of healthy weeks away from clicking again. Now, moving on to the rest of what's happening around this team, there's something that really stood out to me about Kyle Shanahan's tone lately. He's clearly sending a message, not just to the media, but to his own locker room. You can sense that frustration building under the surface, the kind that comes when a team that's used to dominating suddenly starts hitting walls. The 49ers are sitting at 4 wins and 2 losses, and while that might look decent on paper, you can feel there's tension underneath. Shanahan's trying to get this group to tighten up the details, to stop giving away opportunities. Every mistake, every blown assignment, every mental lapse has started to wear on him, and you can see it in how blunt his answers have become. He's not sugarcoating anything anymore. Take the situation with Tatum Bethune, for example. When Shanahan was asked about whether Bethune would continue wearing the green dot and calling the defensive plays, he didn't even hesitate. He just said, Tatum. That's it. One word. Short, cold, final. That's not a coach searching for answers. That's a coach making a statement. Shanahan believes in this young linebacker, and he's putting the responsibility on him to lead that defense in Fred Warner's absence. It's a big ask, especially against physical teams like Atlanta, but Shanahan's trust says a lot about what they've seen from Bethune behind the scenes. The guy has been studying hard, staying locked in, and earning that role day by day. And you know what? Watching Shanahan speak about his young players lately, There's been a mix of frustration and pride. He's clearly not satisfied, but he's also acknowledging that some of these guys are stepping up under tough circumstances. When he talked about reviewing the film from the Tampa Bay game, he admitted that at first it felt depressing. He said when he watched it back on the plane, he was frustrated and disappointed, thinking about how the game unfolded without Fred Warner and Nick Bosa out there. But then, as he rewatched it, he noticed something else: energy, grit, the kind of effort you want to see from a group that refuses to fold. He described it as inspiring, and that word says everything. Even through the injuries and adversity, some of these younger players are showing real promise, giving this coaching staff something to build on. Now, there's been a lot of noise around the offense lately too, especially about Kendrick Bourne. His numbers have been decent, but the turnovers, pre-snap confusion, and blocking issues have drawn criticism. When Shanahan was asked about him, though, he was honest, and honestly, it was refreshing. He said that for someone who joined the team late, who missed the entire offseason program, Bourne has been doing a great job catching up. It's not perfect, but the effort's there. And that's something fans need to understand about this offense. It's not plug-and-play. Shanahan's system is one of the most complex in football. Even for players who've been in it before, things evolve every year. Terminology changes, responsibilities shift, and it takes time to get back into rhythm. So, considering how quickly Bourne's been thrown into action, the progress he's made is actually impressive. But let's talk about that quarterback situation, because it's impossible to ignore. Brock Purdy's injury and his limited participation have kept fans guessing, but based on the clips coming out of practice, he looks good. The ball's coming out clean, and the zip is there. Shanahan even admitted that Purdy is less limited than Mac Jones right now, which says a lot about how close he might be to full strength. Watching Purdy warm up with George Kittle and throw with confidence again, it's the kind of thing that gives this team a much-needed boost. Because no matter who's playing at running back or receiver, it all runs through the quarterback. If Purdy's healthy and sharp, the Niners have a chance in any game. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a move that has already sent shockwaves through the NFL world, Budda Baker, the stalwart safety who has long been synonymous with the Arizona Cardinals defense, appears to be closing one chapter and opening another. Rumors are swirling that Baker has officially parted ways with the Cardinals, leaving fans and analysts alike questioning the future landscape of NFC West defenses. Even more tantalizing, whispers suggest that he could soon be donning the scarlet and gold of the San Francisco 49ers. Baker, known for his sideline-to-sideline range, punishing hits, and uncanny ability to read quarterbacks, has been a cornerstone of Arizona's backfield for years. His leadership on and off the field made him more than just a safety. He was a symbol of the Cardinals' defensive identity. Yet, sources close to the situation hint that contract negotiations may have hit an impasse, fueling speculation that Baker's loyalty might shift to a new home in the Bay Area. The buzz began quietly, with insiders dropping hints on social media, but it has since gained momentum. The 49ers, long in need of a playmaker in the secondary, could benefit enormously from Baker's arrival. Imagine him patrolling the middle of the field alongside the likes of Fred Warner, providing an almost psychic layer of coverage that could redefine San Francisco's defensive schemes. Fans are already fantasizing about highlight reel interceptions, punishing open field tackles, and Baker's unmistakable presence transforming the 49ers' defensive identity overnight. Of course, nothing has been officially confirmed, and the NFL is no stranger to late-night twists and last-minute deals. Still, the mere possibility of Baker trading the desert for the Bay is enough to ignite fervent debate across sports forums, podcasts, and stadium stands. Could this be the move that propels the 49ers to the next level? Or is it just another dramatic rumor in a league built on surprises? One thing is certain: wherever Budda Baker lands, the ripple effect will be felt across the NFC West and beyond, and fans will be watching every snap with bated breath. If the deal does materialize, it would mark one of the more audacious defensive acquisitions of recent years, a shakeup that could redefine rivalries and draft strategies alike. For now, all we can do is speculate and savor the tantalizing possibility of Budda Baker in red and gold. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.